Here we go.
So,
I'm about
I
to
don't know
click
who you're
it.
talking.
I'm about to click it. I'm about to click it.
Talking about me in the third person or something.
All right, man. We going here. We going. We live. And we're
Hello.
live. What's up, man? This is wild, bro. I look trippy, bro.
What's going on?
What's up, man?
Well, I don't have no filters.
Oh,
What
man.
the fuck?
We're here live, man. It's your boy Drew. I'm here with EBT, Enslaved by Truth. Go follow him everywhere. Last stream we did, you gotta go check that out. It was the 420 stream. We streamed for 4 hours and 20 minutes plus. And what we talked about in that was the jet fuel hoax conspiracy. And we just kind of dismissed it because I think when you think about it logically, it just kind of breaks down pretty easily. But we didn't really present any evidence to kind of, kill it. But tonight here in the first beginning of the show, we're just going to end jet fuel hoax once and for all. It's over. It's a wrap. It will no longer exist. If someone believes in jet fuel hoax, send them this video and it will be over.
There you go. It really is like that simple.
You got those screenshots? Want to post those screenshots?
I'm totally not prepared.
I can just look it up. Here's where the miscalculation is.
Go to random. You go to the channel random screenshots, and if you scroll up,
Way the F up.
Not super up.
Here's where the misconception comes. Is I will scroll up and I'm gonna find that. But the misconception comes from when I'm going to pull this up right now because I actually have the link here.
It's 4/22 is the date in the Discord.
It's pounds, not gallons, retards. This is where you guys... Here's what I did is I looked up like the specs of this, Airbus 380. I looked that up and I saw the pound. It said the maximum gallons. It said gallons/LB. And then I looked up, is it pounds or is it gallons? The capacity right here. Fuel is ordered in gallons. Fuel capacity is stated in gallons. The only time fuel is measured in pounds is for the sake of weight and balance. And most of these problems are done during check rides, blah, blah. So there's different types of fuel and they measure it by pounds. This is
Jet A, and anything that when you go to burn jet fuel, all jet fuel is going to be measured in its pounds.
And it says this is especially critical at high altitudes where temperature will be -40 to -50 degrees Fahrenheit. Further, fuel is burned by mass, not volume.
Right. So
this is like an industry standard.
Right. So the way that the controls of the engine are working, like the fuel injectors are rated in pounds per gallon or pounds per hour. How much pounds per hour of fuel can they deliver? Because when we're doing the chemistry, the stoichiometry to know how much fuel to put into the engine.
Did you say stoichiometry?
Yeah.
The guy from Skokie?
Stoichiometry, STOTIC. If you took basic chemistry in school, that's what it is. But we try to maintain that 14.7 ratio there on the fuel. But yeah, so we can burn less fuel. But either way, we're burning the fuel by mass, and any fuel that's going into a jet aircraft is going to be measured in pounds. So when you Google the fuel capacity, so we're going to focus just on the A380, right, as an example, because that's one of the most popular aircraft that's used in the jet fuel hoax theory. When you Google the capacity of that aircraft, it says 82,000 gallons. But it's 82,000 pounds. Gallons per pound is what they rated at.
Right.
It's not 82,000 gallons, because if you times 82,000 times a weight per gallon of Jet A,
6.7 pounds is the weight.
Right. you get an extreme amount.
And that's where these retards are like, yeah, there's no way you could have this much weight. Well, yeah, obviously.
Obviously, that's true. You could not put 82,000 gallons of fuel into... I mean, you probably could, but it wouldn't be able to take off. But no, there's not 82,000 fluid gallons of fuel inside the wings of a plane of the A380. There's 82,000 pounds.
This guy in the chat's still not getting it. It's not 24,000 liters, dude. Is that right? It's pounds, dude.
I'm not going to convert. I'm not going to convert some Freemasonic bullshit metric system. Okay, we're talking gallons. Internationally, it's accepted as pounds too. Is the standard measurement?
And I did the calculation on one capacity, said 84,000 gallons. So I divided that by the weight of the Jet A, whatever, 6.7 pounds, and it's like 12,000 gallons.
12,000 gallons.
12,000 gallons.
How big is a 12,000 gallon tank?
I'm going to show you right now how big a 12,000 gallon tank. This one right here is a 10,000 gallon. This shit is not that big. 10-foot diameter. You have one. You had one that was a 12,000 one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did. I pulled it up in my Instagram meme that I made about it, and it's no bigger than a. It's
a little just taller add a couple feet. I'll pull up your Instagram here in a minute. So this is a 10,000 gallon tank, 10-foot diameter, 18 feet tall, 36-inch tall leg beams. This is not that big, dude. A guy could be standing next to this. I'll pull up your meme here in a second. And here's how big the wing is. So this theory's dead and over. You hear anybody talking about this theory? Let me pull up your Insta thing and compare it to that wing. Stephen David said dunzo, 100% dunzo. It's over.
Yeah, it's literally just a miscalculation. It's literally nothing. Even the guy that was in the comments that was all spurging about, because I did make a couple technical errors when I was just bullshitting, but he's talking about scramjets and shit. Like, I didn't even mention scramjets, but we're not talking about fucking scramjets. We're talking about airliners that have turbofan engines on them. So, I mean, are you talking about some magical engine that can transform itself in midair to... But the general purpose of the meme, or of the theory, is that there's way too much fuel in these aircrafts, and there's no way that's possible. Well, yeah, if you're going that it holds 82,000 gallons, yeah, it's impossible. It doesn't hold that much. Even a KC-135 in-air refueling plane, whose main purpose is to be a flying gas station, only holds like 33,000 actual fluid gallons. That's a 12,000 gallon tank. That's how much tank an A380.
Here's the guy. This guy's, let's assume this guy's 6 feet. He's half the height of this thing max.
Right.
So this is a 12-foot tall tank. It doesn't even look that wide. And then compare it to the wing here that I'm going to show you right here. Look at this guy standing on the wing. And now you'd have fuel in both wings, across both wings. It's over, bro.
Yeah, it's literally a nothing theory. So, I mean, you don't even have to have the conversation about exotic engine technologies or compressed air or whatever, because the basis of the theory is bullshit. Because it's on miscalculations. No, the airplane doesn't carry that much fuel. It doesn't need 24 fucking elephants inside the wings or whatever in the memes, you know? Like, it's... No, that wing is gigantic. Look, that's a swimming pool inside that one section of the wing.
Yeah, it's huge, dude. So, yeah, the whole thing is not full to the brim with fluid and on both sides, probably. And
yeah, only across both sides. Certain sections will have fuel, and certain sections are for mechanical or hydraulics or all these kind of... But there's plenty of space in those wings in the belly of that aircraft to hold 12,000 gallons of fluid.
And Stephen David said we're wrong. It's just a Mandela effect.
Right. Now, okay, so now, but I will add fuel to the conspiracy side of it, because I did look into it a little more, because I thought that it was strange when you did try to look up these figures, that it wasn't very clear cut, you know, like what the specs are on these aircrafts. And then I looked into it. like post 9/11 in December of 2001, there was like an FAA bill that was passed that limited the amount of information that was allowed to be put into public domain or even on the internet. There's a cybersecurity law about the specifications of civil aviation commercial aircraft that are certified by the FAA. So I think and I haven't read through the whole bill yet, obviously, because I don't think it's that important. But basically, the manufacturers are restricted to what they can publicly release about the aircraft. Okay. So, yeah, you can run with that any way you want, but still, the theory is bullshit. That's 12,000 gallons of fuel. That's what the aircraft takes. Like, even Captain Healthy was talking about on Sunday or whatever. Yeah, you can look. There's a Air Force specific job called fuel system specialist, and that's literally their entire job. And even in the Navy, if anybody's familiar with like aircraft carriers, each person on the aircraft carrier deck usually wears like a different color shirt, and the different color shirt like designates like what your job is on the aircraft deck. And there is a specific shirt color designated to refueling on the aircraft. So the airplanes take fuel. It's not unbelievable. There's not 27, 47 elephants inside the wings. There's no conspiracy. There's nothing here. Literally nothing here.
Literally nothing. In the chat, Black Bear, I got your back, Bear, I'm sorry, says, how far did you guys have to dig to find out it was pounds? I literally typed the specs of the A380 whatever, and it said gallons/pounds, and I said, and then I typed next, is it pounds in airplanes or gallons? And I got this answer. So it took me literally about 45 seconds to debunk the whole thing. And that's the funniest part is these people say, oh, I'm such a researcher, man. I researched you didn't research shit because I debunked this shit in 45 seconds to myself. And to add to it, it says one of the reasons pounds has become the universal standard in fuel units. This is because of the famous Gimli glider accident, Air Canada 143. A Boeing 767 ran out of fuel in 1983 during a transcon. Part of the problem was confusion in ordering fuel in kilograms, which could be measured in liters and then converted into pounds for the sake of the operation, along with a chain of events. One of the results of the accident was the movement to an industry standard of pounds in order to mitigate risks of another airplane running out of fuel. So all you researchers... It's over, bro. Share this. Next time someone brings up jet fuels run on compressed air. And my question is, I want to know, is there any globetards that actually believe in this theory, or is it only flat? Is it exclusive to flat Earth?
Oh, it's pretty exclusive. I mean,
I would say
it's a big flat Earth theory. I don't think
flat Earth circle jerk.
Because there was just another one thing to try to prove the flat Earth map, because it would mean that flight times are longer. And none of it made any sense because it's all based on a faulty premise from the get go.
Right.
Like it's literally not even worth talking about.
Real quick, got your back, Bear. I wasn't talking about you, dude. I'm just saying in general, the people that were like, if you were here in the last stream, the people that were just losing their shit over us talking, where we didn't present any evidence, because I think when you just think about it, you should be able to figure out there's nothing to it. But
right,
I'm talking about those people that call themselves these like major researchers. They just research memes. That's all they do.
Right. There was no like actual like concise theory on the subject, like the one fucking red pill dude that was going off in the comments, like talking about scramjets and all this shit. Okay, well, scramjets are something that exists. They operate on missiles and other advanced aircraft, but we know that the A380 doesn't have scramjets. It has turbofans on it. Okay, so like you're literally talking about nothing. And the only reason you have to get to this idea of advanced high technology engines that they don't want us to know about is because you think that the airplane carries way too much fuel, that it can't possibly do it. And it's debunked.
It's 100. It's dead forever.
Right.
After this, it's done. So this goes right with the origins of this podcast of why we even started this. Was we talked about conspiracies were going to go mainstream. I'm sorry I bring that up every time, but it's just like we saw this years ago, and then you see how dumbed down it gets when more and more people get into it that have never really looked into this information. It's really easy to get caught up. Because I swear when I first heard of this theory, I was like, oh yeah, because I was into flat earth at the time. I was like, didn't even look into it. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Compressed air. F yeah. The man's lying. But then once I thought about it for a while, I was like, okay, yeah, that's actually pretty dumb.
Well, and yeah, I mean, even when we talked about it on the last episode,
they were spurging, man.
I didn't even get it though yet because I was still thought that it was that the capacity was that insane amount, and I didn't even admittedly I didn't even go for enough to think about that. That if you do the math on that, well, yeah, that is impossible that aircraft carries that much. There has to be something wrong with that specification, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, the aircraft doesn't carry that much. And then even like you in the comments, you went and talked to responded to somebody and you did the math on the passengers and their luggage on the aircraft.
Yeah.
And then compared that to what the weight of the fuel would be. I mean, it's simple. I mean, it's a bullshit theory, and there's no reason to hold on to it. I mean, it's dumb.
We destroyed the theory.
Destroyed.
The compressed air airplane is destroyed. Even the black box is destroyed. It's over. It should never return. It's a litmus test for retards at this point. I just want to say this is the podcast they do not want you to see. The algorithm's been suppressing us a long time. They want to promote these crazy theories like that. They don't want to bring you to any reality. They want you to think you live in a shared hallucination or some weird shit like that.
It's not even a shared. It's all comes out. It's a relative hallucination.
Yeah, exactly. We each have our own hallucination, basically, is where they want people to be at.
Right, because people will still, after this, they're still going to try to justify the jet fuel hoax.
Oh, absolutely. You're my handler, dude, and we're
right.
only allowed to we're only allowed to come out and give this information, dude. I literally put two damn searches into Google.
And even like I say, what does it even matter? I mean, a ride on a lift to go 5 miles costs more if you calculate it out than riding on a jet aircraft, from Chicago to Texas. Yeah, it's insane. So, I mean, there's literally no conspiracy here.
So it's jet fuel hoax is officially dead and debunked. Shout out to the chat.
Next.
The one thing I wanted to talk about just real quick, there's not too much to say about it, is man, shout out to Claire. We always talk about Claire, and
she's a show favorite.
Our favorite. Where's the one I just posted it, man? Oh, here it is. She had a great observation here. She posted this on her Insta. Hashtag Free Britney, hashtag Arrest Will Smith, hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp. And she wrote, this is Claire's words here, Holly Weird changing the distraction tactics from movies to, quote, reality shows in the midst of a disappearing audience. Excuse me. If it's not a remake or played out sequel, it's a dystopian backdrop. Littered with mainstream conspiracy stories that just aren't selling like they used to. Q, hashtag Are You Not Entertained, hashtag actor-based reality. And I wanted to bring a word into the lexicon to define all these things we're seeing now, and I'm gonna call it metaverse movies. For example, the Johnny Depp trial, the Will Smith slap. These are metaverse movies because you live in the metaverse right now already. Oh, there you are. What's up, man?
What's happening?
You're in the metaverse. You're in a soft metaverse. And these are the metaverse movies. Movies no longer exist, only to boomers. We'll get to that next. But the movies are, there's a new movie the metaverse movie that's an interact. It's all about you interacting and getting on Twitter and like retweeting about it and talking about it and having a hot take about it. I'd go as far to say even the Ukraine Russia situation is a metaverse movie. And like we saw, everyone had an opinion on it like instantly overnight. And that's what it's all about. It wants you to engage with it on the social media. A movie's not going to do that anymore. You might just go say, hey, I saw it and it was good and that was it. But with the Johnny Depp metaverse movie, you can tweet about it for days and days and days. That's why they put, oh, she shit the bed. So everyone comes in and it just makes you run to the social media and engage and interact with it. And that's the term I'm going to be using for these fake events. Will Smith, slap, and all these things you see.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, these are kind of things that we were predicting. I mean, like, it's the TMZ reality, right? But I don't know. I mean, I've been been looking at that Johnny Depp thing's kind of fun. There are some pretty funny parts about it.
It's the new movies really don't exist anymore. They do, but they're phasing them out for this type of thing now. It's just
and there's like so many.
There's no budget really. There's Johnny Depp in a courtroom, not even a green screen probably, and a couple other people.
It's gonna get more ratings than if they made a $25 million blockbuster. You know,
it's all about that engagement because that's why I'm saying you're in the metaverse. You interact with it and you tweet it and promote it and talk about it and everything. You're part of the show now with these things.
Yeah, like look, the Will Smith smack thing transcended all genres. Right. It is so is the Johnny Depp thing. It transcends all genres. And then same thing with Ukraine, you know, like, and the way that we were able to flip from the CV narratives and then flip immediately.
Drew Poole here. I need a little black beanie. It's Drew Poole. Oh shit! I'm getting swatted. Oh shit. But yeah. What were you saying? Sorry.
I don't even know. I don't even know. You lost me. I don't have filters. How do I get these filters?
Download Snap Cam. It's just Snap. It's called Snap Camera.
Damn, I want some filters.
That's
an OE standard. We always had weird hats or something.
I gotta go back to this one. It's too glitchy though.
What'd you call it? Snap
Camera. It's an app. You just download it for I have it on the desktop. And then
how much malware am I going to get off of this app?
Hopefully none.
It's free, so.
Metaverse movies, that's your new term in the conspiracy lexicon that I wanted to introduce. Not much more to say there, I don't think, other than shout out to Claire.
Yeah, the most intriguing thing about the Johnny Depp trial to me was like looking at like all the properties that he had at the time, and that building where he had the penthouses was pretty interesting. And then the one pretty funny thing was that artist friend that he had. I guess it was his friend from like the 80s or whatever, and then they like separated, and then like the guy started to be an artist, but then he was a bouncer at a bar or a club or something, and then he met up with Johnny again, and then like Johnny set up a meeting with him because he wanted to buy some of his art, and then so he went and looked at his art, and then Johnny said, well, why don't I just be your patron, and I'm going to give you one of my penthouses in that building there in Los Angeles, and you can live for free, and you can just make art, and I'll set up shows for you, and you can sell your art, and make whatever. You don't owe me anything. It was such a strange arrangement. But then I went and looked at the dude's IG page, and he's only got like 3,000 followers. Maybe, I don't remember exactly, but it was less than 10K followers. His art is super weird. It's like weird pornographic paintings of people that are celebrities. Like, and he has one like Trump doing this with a bunch of black fella.
I've seen something like that. That's the guy that made that, I think.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that was up on trial.
So that was like his Johnny Depp's like Kato Caitlyn.
Yeah, exactly. but yeah, I wish I had it pulled up right now. I know I shared it in the Discord at some point, but I don't remember where it's at. But uh, the artwork is hilarious. Hold on, I think maybe I can pull it up in a minute if you want to feel the air real quick.
Yeah, no problem, man. Shout out to the chat, man. How many people we got in the house right now? We got 100 people. So hit that thumbs up, man. Appreciate you guys. We're gonna stay on this topic for a minute. I want to get into also the cult of transcendental boomers tonight, and then we'll get into. I think we got to talk about Elon Musk because there's a lot going on there.
Okay, there we go. Questions for the show. It is edited though. So
okay, yeah. So this is Johnny Depp's boy.
Yeah, here's the guy. His name's Isaac. I don't remember his name, Isaac something. But he has an IG page where he puts some of his art up. But that's the guy that Depp was his. I guess they're longtime friends, and then now Depp is his patron, and the guy lives for free off of Johnny Depp.
How do I get an arrangement like that?
Right, and it doesn't even make sense. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Jared Board said the algorithm did not notify me you guys were live. You know why? Because the algorithm does not want you to see this.
Gee, look, here's Aunt B. Here's his one. If any Andy Griffith fans know about Aunt B, here's his painting of Aunt B.
So he's basically a Hollywood weirdo.
I don't know. Put a 1 in the chat if you would smash Aunt B based on this, based on that image. I would. I'm putting a 1 up in the chat. That's what I'm doing.
Hey, she'll feed you pie when you're done. Why not,
yeah.
Right?
Throw that 1 up in the chat for that. So yeah, that's my take on the Johnny Depp thing. Poop. It's a poop. It's about poop.
Yeah, it's about poops. And even probably these types of things, it's just to get you to share these. And there's so many layers to it, and it's to integrate you into it. And I saw someone in the chat, I didn't want to scroll up right now, but somebody said, yeah, that these types of, Will Smith and Johnny Depp trial and everything, you can't even escape it at work because it's like a movie, you could at least escape it and not watch it, You could tell someone, hey, don't give me a spoiler and not even hear about it. But this stuff, you can't even escape it. The metaverse movie.
Yeah, no, it's infiltrated everything. I mean, like literally every genre had to mention Will Smith.
Yep.
I tried hard not even to mention it, but like I said, it's in every genre. I mean, they can shift the Overton window. They can shift popular conception like in an instant now. It's unreal.
Yeah, like that. That's why that one is so dumb to me. The every single instance of yellow and blue in the past was predictive programming of Ukraine. Not much has gone on in Ukraine, and they can flip that off tomorrow if they wanted to. Memory hole it tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I followed it pretty closely in the first few weeks thinking that it was going to be something, but like the more you followed the coverage on it, the more it was obvious that, and like we said on the episode that we covered on it when Benton did his face reveal, it was obvious from the get-go. I mean, the official Ukrainian government was putting out computer game clips representing them as real combat footage, like with the Ghost of Kiev, and there's so much absurd stuff, so from the get-go it was bullshit. I mean, obviously there's something going on there, but to think that anybody on this side of it has any idea what's going on, I don't know. It's crazy, especially when you see for like the last 10 years, like one of the big movements has been like combat footage from American forces in GWAT, between Afghanistan and Iraq or the Philippines. Like so much actual combat footage has been coming out from all these engagements. And when anybody that's watched that for an extended period of time and seen what actual combat looks like, and then looks at some of the shit that's coming out, I mean, they literally could just have filmed the whole thing in a Chinese ghost city. How much blown up Russian block equipment is laying around everywhere in the fucking in Eastern European areas. You know, like it. I don't know. Who knows what's going on over there? But it feels like they're gonna pull us into some bullshit with it one way or another. You know, personally, I still think that we're gonna get tacked. Red Dawn's coming, right?
You've been saying that for a long time.
Red Dawn's coming. I mean,
I think the Ukraine and everything. Well, not just that, but even these, like I mentioned, the metaverse movies. These are just a testimony to like how poorly people's sense of discernment is, and what Infinite Plane Society. Shout out to Tim Osman, what he calls their visual literacy. Did I say it right? I think that's what he calls it. Like they can't even distinguish, like you were saying, that Ghost of Kiev. It's like a video game, and they can't even tell you. They think it's real.
Right.
And what kind of goes with that is I'm going to pull it up, and I hate to go here, but at the same time I don't, because it needs to be called out, man. This shit needs to be called out. Is like the channel that's called Vanessa VA. This kind of lead us into the cult of transcendental boomers. 8,000 subscribers here.
Hey, excuse me, bro.
We're gonna talk about John Mayer songs and shit.
Hold on, I'm gonna play that video that she posted. That
Hey, excuse.
It's like a minute. That was like a TikTok. I'm gonna play this one time through, and then I'm going to. We can just play it back and talk about it real quick. So let me see if I can share my screen with you. Hold on.
Well, I'm watching live on the other screen, so.
Hey, excuse me, bro. Hey, I just wanted to give this to you.
How delayed it is.
God, I can't make it quieter. It's so loud. So came up and gave him like a $50 bill, supposedly.
Oh, okay, yeah, this one.
Oh my gosh, he's giving the homeless guy the money.
So,
excuse me, bro.
Let me get it. I can't control the volume of the video when I do that, unfortunately. Hopefully it wasn't like blowing your eardrums out.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it, so I don't know.
So basically there's like this dude, and he's pumping the gas. This is all actors. If you don't understand this is actors, this is what I'm calling like the cult of transcendental boomers. They want to believe everything. That's Tinfoil's phrase, by the way. So shout out to Tinfoil Straitjacket.
No, bro, that guy's reaction looked pretty honest to me.
Okay.
I mean, he was like,
Excuse me, bro. Hey, I just wanted to give this to you.
when they give the guy the money, he doesn't notice this camera's there, like filming him. There's a guy like right in front of his car, just filming him. And you don't know that that's what's in there, what they show you, the $50. You don't know that's in there.
right. And anybody that watches like First Amendment auditors know that like anytime you're filming, everybody in the fucking area realizes that you're filming and gets offended by it.
And the dude goes, and then this part might be real, where he goes and gives an envelope. You don't know what he's handing him. He gives an envelope to what appears to be a homeless. Now, this guy might be real, but you don't know what he's even handing him. What's in there? There could be 5 $1 bills in there or something. But she does say it's just, I can't control the volume, so I had to stop it. But she does say in the comments that she believes this is real, and like, why is it hard for people to understand that there's people out here that do the right thing? These people have pretty big platform to have 8,000 subscribers in there, and then you're promoting that and telling people that that's real. I think it needs to be called out, man.
I think the comment that I saw that was posted was that I think she said like, why can people, why can people not do good things when they're not being watched? I mean, obviously they knew they were being watched. I mean, it's not like somebody was filming that when the transaction there at the pump with a cell phone or something. I mean, you can tell that's done with an actual camera.
Yeah, then the next scene's like a cell phone. It's like Blair Witch footage. They're making it shaky. And then what I thought was interesting is the guy says, oh, he's giving it to the homeless guy or whatever. Because I think most people are so dumb, 40-50% of people wouldn't even know what's happening. They would be like, I don't get it. Even though it's implied it's a homeless guy. If you've ever left your house, you would understand that. But I think a lot of people, so the director of that understands there's people out there that won't even get that part of it. So they have to have the guy with the shaky Blair Witch camera say, oh my God, he's giving a homeless guy the money. And then the music on top of it, the music just turns them into emotional mush and just, it's easy to just play them.
Right. And that's how you have to make a credible viral video or whatever, is you have to mix in bad footage with it, because it would be so easy to fake these. Well, this one's stupid. I mean, this one's just stupid. I mean, obviously it has cut scenes. Like, obviously, like the camera angles are right. I mean, and this is a genre. I mean, this is a genre of these types of videos where people are, doing good things or whatever, and it happens to be being filmed or something. And so, I mean, this is just obviously fake.
But why do you think? Why do you think that? I mean, I shouldn't say why do people. We know why people fall for it, but why do these channels that people look up to and have a lot of followings even promote?
I would assume that normies wouldn't even have thought that video was like 100% organic or real. So, I mean, that just, it bottles my mind, right? My mind's in a bottle after that.
And these,
obviously it's not real. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely not real. Blue Rage says real heroes don't film themselves. Exactly. Even let's pretend it was real. It's not real at that point. If you're just giving somebody money just to film it and put it on YouTube and get some clout or something, that makes it not real. Shit.
Gucci Gang went out and did a whole thing where he gave out Grax, right? Shout out to QOC, Gucci Gang. Shout out to Content Chaos. Even though I think he took that shit down. Even though
did he really? That was a certified hood classic.
Banger. I don't know. I think he took down all the videos last time I went, man. Shit.
We'll see.
I'm waiting for some new shit.
So I just think it's irresponsible for these people to be. I mean, do whatever you want, really. To me, it's all about, like, even when you hear me talking about these channels, it's not really about the channel. It's about the followers of the channel that just go and repeat this stuff. Like, oh yeah, this channel said this is real.
Look, yeah, I mean, these people can go out and put whatever ideas, whatever they want to out there.
Absolutely, 100%.
No problem with that. But there also should not be a problem with somebody saying that you're a dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it doesn't matter if you're monetized or what. I hope everyone's making money on this stuff or something. But to just have that, like that just shits on any work you've done before. If you thought any of that was credible before, and then you put something up like that, it just discredits everything you've ever done, man.
I don't know. I mean, we've been on the internet making content long enough. People are going to shit on it no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. Goes with the territory.
That's the way it is. And you should not expect that you're not going to get shit on.
It just, like, it boggles my mind how these people have 8,000 subscribers, and it's, like, hard to even gain one subscriber. You know how hard it is on any platform. And part of it is because the algorithm does not want you to see this. But that kind of goes with, too, like what we talked about earlier, what I was calling the metaverse movies, Johnny Depp trial and all that and stuff, is like that's for like the younger people, I think. And then the older boomers, shout out Tinfoil, cult of transcendental boomers, is they're still stuck on these movies, man, on like the Hollywood movies, and they have to tell you truth in the Hollywood movies, man. I saw I saw your boy Howdy the other day. He made one about Moon Knight, the new Marvel movie, or what's like a series, I guess. Moon Knight. They have to tell you the truth, and dude did like an hour breakdown of like his first impressions of it because it was just so profound, and they're giving you the most severe truth drops and everything like that. Well, what do you think it is that these boomers are just like so fixated with the Hollywood aspect of it?
I'm not even sure because like I literally know absolutely zero about anything related to Marvel at all. Like I've never seen a Marvel movie. I'm totally outside of that genre. Like so to me it's funny that anybody would watch that and assume that there's some kind of, I don't know, to be trying to decode the esoteric and metaphysical truths out of some of these movies. It just seems pointless. I mean, at some point I think you need to accept that these things come from Hollywood and that in general some of them are probably just completely pointless. I mean, are you going to decode like Warhammer? Are you going to decode Pokemon cards? Are you going to decode fucking Zelda, Mario Brothers? I mean, where do
the line?
Donkey Kong? Where do we draw the lines here on what? Yeah, maybe there's some architects that kind of weed their way through it because humans are the ones creating this content to some extent, but I don't know. I mean, there's value maybe in analyzing some of these movies. Obviously, come from these big think tank organizations and are kind of, the overplayed term of revelation of the method or whatever. But I think to hold to the dogma that these people, these elite, are bound contractually to tell you the truth through movies.
They have to tell you.
That they have to tell you. Nobody ever makes any epistemological basis for that claim. It's just always just a claim, right? It's just, you have to assume that that's correct.
And I mean, I always say this, if you think about it, I mean, think of how dumb that is. You're saying like, oh, they can eat a little kid's face, no problem. As long as they tell you in some like Hollywood movie that only some like recluse can decode in their mom's basement or some shit. It's just fucking ridiculous. And then they don't have any cosmic karma consequence or something if they put it in the movie Idle Hands or something like that and you figure it out, then they can do whatever they want. It's ridiculous, man. And I don't mind it really, and I think it's, we've all been prone to thinking like that sometimes and stuff, and it is somewhat interesting, but my problem with it now is there's like an entire genre of it on YouTube of these people like decoding every movie is like a Bible to these people. The movie Soul, oh, fucking Soul.
All the last timers. Soul is in the canon.
Yeah,
the movie Soul is in the canon. That's, and their worldview is being constructed based off of a Pixar fucking movie.
Yeah, literally. And you talked about the last timers, and I'll talk about that too. Is that's the new genre. We mentioned this on D Live, but some of you guys might not have been there. It seems to be the new genre. Kind of sweeping up a lot of these followers is they call it last timers, people that aren't going to reincarnate on Earth anymore, and they talk about pre-birth memories and all this stuff, and they get a lot of followers and a lot of views, and man, that's wild to me because basically anyone can say anything they want, and then it's just taken as fact. The only thing I could compare it to that I think to kind of defend it is people do the same thing about like hallucinations, and we've done it before. We've done a show and talked about things we've seen on like, mind altering drugs or things like that. And each person has their own like individual experience. So I can see how they get into it a little bit, but I just don't see how it's that big of a thing. Like that there's that many people that, oh, this guy said this, so this must be true. Pre-birth.
Right. I mean, definitely in the last timers genre, that's definitely a thing. It's like somehow individual subjective experiences somehow or some kind of objective truth. Which,
very weird.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that the individual's subjective experiences are not important to understand or to talk about or to, discuss, but I don't get the leap between somebody's subjective experiences, whether it's a near death or whether it's on some kind of psychedelic thing, regardless whether or not it corresponds with somebody else's experience. I don't know where we are able to make the jump to where that's an objective truth that should become dogma. But then at the same time, like, these people are generally they would say that they're anti-dogmatic, but that's really just not the case, because they seem to hold strictly to a lot of dogmas. There's certain things that just can't be. Why do you look like a fucking Taiwanese fucking? Jeez.
I look
Pampers
Taiwanese.
Yeah.
Here, I'll switch it. I kind of like this one. Let's go back.
It slimmed your face down. I mean, you look like
I look Taiwanese.
a Thai pool hustler or some shit.
Let's see, what's this one? Oh, no, not that one.
Oh, wait, yeah, I was trying to download that shit.
Yeah, this is like a normal one. Yeah, I don't know. It's just
where were we at?
cult of transcendental boomers, and then they're what I see about it, and my only problem with it is, like I said, man, again, do what you want to do. Good luck. I wish you success and much money in what you do, but I see it as the world is in serious shit right now. There's way more important shit to be talking about than, well, what did this guy see when he was swimming in his father's balls and his dad's Fruit Looms back in the 80s or something. And the world is
right.
Like, it's in a tough spot right now. And it seems to be, to me, man, is all related to, and you could probably map it out over time. And it's like, as society got away from God, and society slowly went downhill.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the case, but at the same time, like, I don't discount near-death experiences or transcendental experiences or even psychedelic experiences. Like, I was a psychonaut for a long time, and I mean, I don't pass. If there's an opportunity, I might not necessarily pass it up, but and I was microdosing for a while there with mushrooms, and in the process of growing more to continue to microdose, because I think there's valuable medicinal properties to it or whatever. And I've never had a bad experience on psychedelics, and all my experiences with it have been positive. I mean, really kind of very enlightening experiences, very profound revelations that, like, really can't even be put into words. You couldn't even explain what it is necessarily. But it's not possible for me to logically be able to separate that from being something that was a construct within myself. I mean, how do I know that that's not something that that I'm coming up with myself? I would say the only negative psychedelic thing that I've ever experienced, and I'm not I've never done DMT or anything like that, but I've experienced with mushrooms and LSD and other stuff. But the craziest thing I've ever done was a salvia extract, dude. Back in the day when it was, you could get it at the smoke shop. You get like 10,
that
15,
salvia would
20.
fuck you up, dude.
Oh my God, dude. I took a hit of salvia one time, dude, and held it in, and then all of a sudden, zoom,
You were
like
gone.
literally gone.
Yeah.
Gone from reality.
Same.
I entered this cosmic realm, and I could just feel like my face peeled open, my face became a piano keyboard, and my teeth expanded all the way out, and it was a piano keyboard throughout all the world, through all universe, through all space time. And then as I was traveling down the piano keyboard, there was Muppets, Elmo and Grimace and like Big Bird, and like there's this whole cartoon reality. And the whole time that I'm in it, I'm scared to death that I'm stuck where I'm at right now. I'm in some other fucking reality, and I'm not coming back to wherever my body is. Like, it's so it disassociates you with your body so much.
Absolutely.
It's scary. After I had that one insane experience with that, like I'm probably now that was probably like 12 years ago. I'm probably now to the point where I probably might try that again, but under very limited and controlled situations.
I would never do it, man, again. I had the same kind of thing. Like, I just left my body, and I barely remember any of it, and I was back, and it felt like hours, and it had been like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I the first time I ever heard about it, like I was renting this house in Wheaton, Illinois, and I had some roommates that were staying with me that I found on roommates.com. I don't know if that's still a thing, but I was renting out one side of the house to these kids, and he brought over a bunch of his friends, and they had got it, and they were all in the front room, and they all started toking it out of a bong, and like, dude, people were just losing their fucking mind off this shit. Like, you can't control what you're doing physically because you're not even there.
You just slide against the wall. You just drop down.
You're not even there anymore. This stuff's insane, which is totally different from mushrooms or acid.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a totally different experience. Like, I don't know.
And so, like we were just bullshitting about those experiences, though. Like, I can see why people like listening to near-death experience and everything. So I'm not trying to like shit on it too hard or anything. I hope it doesn't come across as that. But I just see like this genre of like, they talk about movies, indie, and everything about like anything that's important, and it is good to get away from like important things sometimes, just as relaxation and stuff. But I just feel like, man, when you get that platform and you have the opportunity to try to help some people.
I guess my biggest problem is like the amount of straw mans that they make from taking these subjective experiences. And then straw man, like particularly, they always going to straw man against religion, right? Like they're going to say, well, in general, Christianity tells you like afterlife is this, this, and this. It's heaven or hell, yada, yada, yada. And really, it just makes up a bunch of false arguments. And that's really their false arguments against the straw man are really the only thing that backs up their dogmas, even though they're anti-dogmatic, the same time, but there's nothing wrong talking about after death experiences or psychedelic experiences or whatever. Like, I mean, I'm definitely not a Puritan, obviously,
yeah,
but I don't think it, I mean, because in general, I mean, for the most part, Christianity doesn't really tell you anything about because who knows what the afterlife is. I mean, anybody that's going to tell me they know exactly what the afterlife is, if you got like the Book of the Dead, and you're going to tell me what I need to do at each door, in each level, and each bardo, and tell me if I need to go to the light or not go against the light. Okay, well, shut up. I mean, like, how the fuck do you know any of that? I mean, cool idea, I guess, or whatever. But I mean, how are you trying to be anti-religious or anti-dogmatic at the same time you're creating this entire another dogmatic religion with all these presuppositions that you're supposed to remember before you go to death? I mean,
you come here like you come here on a contract or something. What do they say? Like, you agreed to come here. And the last one I watched on Bugsy was like this black dude. He was like, "Oh, I didn't agree to come here." Well, I thought that was the whole thing, was you signed a contract or something to come here. Maybe I don't understand it enough or something.
Right, and I mean, and then even in Christianity, which they hate, is that Christians believe this is their last. This is basically their last time here as well, right? I mean, there's the final judgment and resurrection of the dead. I mean, I guess we could get but they never seem to address any of that. That I mean, there is a principle of reincarnation in Christianity. It's a pretty big part. It's a pretty big part of it that Christians believe in the final resurrection of the dead. At the end of time,
Yeah.
trumpets will sound and the dead will rise. So
Bob Sapp in the chat says you're not supposed to busy yourself with what's next. You're supposed to busy yourself with the now. Yeah, that's a good comment. That's kind of my whole.
To some extent, it's balance. You got to.
Yeah, you got. You do got to. You need to unplug sometimes too, and not think about everything so hard. I don't know. That's just what I see as like, but I just see these channels as like way bigger channels than other channels that are out here trying to, promote other. I mean, we've been on here talking about this. We've been predicting all this, and this would be kind of a good segue into the Twitter, if you want to get into Twitter and Elon Musk, is I predicted that anyone that's been here for a long time, it's been a lot of the same people. I predicted the Elon Musk freedom of speech platform for a long time, for about 2 or 3 years now. I was trying to go through my archives and find where I first said that.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab a drink real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. As I predicted, and I've never backed down on that prediction. So I finally got a prediction right, man. I'm about 0 for 50, but now I got the one where I said Elon Musk is gonna. I said he's gonna start his own, freedom of speech platform, which is eventually gonna lead you into the social credit. They want to give you a quote unquote good platform to get you on there, and as you see now with Elon, it's all about like authenticate all humans and everything. It's gonna lead to. And my second part of the prediction was you're going to need this type of credential just to even go online. So you're going to need this like Facebook or this Twitter login or something, some verified government. It won't be government. They'll tell you it's private, but you'll need that like verified login to even just get online and do whatever you do. So the days of anonymity are over on the internet. I mean, they always have been, but even the idea that you can be will be no more. And I think the Elon thing is another one of these metaverse movies too, because it's so unbelievable. It's funny to me to see people fall for it. Some guys in the Discord were posting how even like Larkin Rose is on there, like falling for it and everything. Like Larkin Rose seems like one of the like smartest dudes on YouTube, and he talks a lot about that. Anarchy, kind of similar to Mark Passio, but he doesn't go as like hardcore yelling and screaming and stuff, but it's weird to me to see people so like they're so smart, but then they just think, oh, Elon's gonna this is the good billionaire, this is the guy that he bought this to save you and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, Elon's been one of the things I've been watching for years, because I just knew when he popped up in popularity, I just knew this was a figure that they were going to continue to run with. That his character is in the long-term script, and we're going to see more and more things with this character. And we've mentioned this, and I've made posts. Since one of the very first posts I ever made on Instagram was about Elon, saying that this dude is not going to save you, because he was definitely being built up as some kind of savior or some kind of superhero for sure. But I think what's so interesting about his character is that people can fall for it, like, in multiple ways. Like, you can have his fanboys that fall for it. You can have multiple levels of fanboys, because you can have these, like you're talking about with that guy Larkin Rose or whatever. Some kind of, I don't know, he's like a right-wing anarchist or libertarian anarchist or something, but he would buy into the idea that somehow Elon's interested in free speech. But then at the same time, you have skeptic, conspiracy theorist types, kind of like us, that are going to be skeptical of everybody. But then there's segments of that believe like, oh, Elon's got Neuralink. He's going to chip your brain any day now. He can put a chip in your brain and control everything that you do and monitor everything you do. And, and then we have SpaceX. Like, there's so much level of his
voice.
There's so much levels of his bullshit, right? Like he's a Discordian character is what they're building. He's a Marvel level.
Oh yeah, he's Tony
right?
Stark.
Right. So like what the first SpaceX rocket cost from being a blueprint on paper to being in space from the get-go was $100 million. And you're telling me that he spent $44 billion to buy a basic internet social media platform that has limited characters and posts that you can make on that
it's
doesn't
absurd,
make any
bro. It's completely
that doesn't make
absurd.
any real revenue.
And like if you think about it, they could ban Twitter or whatever they want. Wait, real quick before I say this, I forgot to mention when I was watching the Howdy Mikowski video, he did say he was an actor in the past and he acted in a movie. That was a big thing I wanted to bring up, but we're past that now. So look into that. But anyway, the Elon Musk thing, they could shut Twitter down anytime they want. All these other apps, they just take them out of the Google Play and the Apple app store or whatever, and you can't have it anymore. They can just remove, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that this guy would just spend $44 billion and be a threat to the system, they can take it off there's like that DDoS attack, protection or whatever they have for some of these sites that like Stormfront and stuff can't even get on that. So they could easily just like deplatform that entire platform after he spent all that money on it if it was real and if he was like a real threat. But yeah, I saw the chat was onto it, and he's like, he is a member of the World Economic Forum, young leaders and everything. He did come out and say like the jab was good and everything like that.
He's also a fellow of the Royal Society.
Yeah, Elon Musk, Elon Reeve Musk, FRS is his name.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know when you look into his life, man. He's got what they say he's got 8 kids.
8 kids, 1 dead from SIDS.
1 dead. And I did that stream a while ago. It was called Elon X. And then I was like looking for it the other day. I couldn't find it. And then I realized, I don't know if I did. I don't remember doing it, but maybe YouTube made it private. Or maybe I was just like paranoid as hell and did. But I put it as public if you guys want to find that. It's called Elon X on my page. And I went over a lot of like his life story and his like parents and everything like that. And I thought it was a pretty good stream, to be honest. I'm pretty harsh on my own streams, and I had to watch it because I forgot what I even talked about. It's been so long ago. It was like 10 months ago or something. But yeah, it said he had this kid that was born and died of SIDS at like 10 weeks old, and talked about Grimes and Amber Heard. That was before I'd even heard of Amber Heard. Is when I did that. Now he was involved with Amber Heard, and now he's with the Grimes, or I don't think they're even together. They're in like an open relationship or something. It's just another layer, they want to promote that polygamy or whatever you call it. What do you call it?
Polyamory.
Yeah, polyamory.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and look, even like what's the last 2 kids' name? Like I thought that him and Grimes they were completely separated. Then I heard in the last few weeks or whatever that they're having another kid.
I think what it is I think if I remember right, maybe the chat can correct me, but I think they live next door to each other and they say they're like best friends, but then they kind of do their own thing too. But they're in love with each other.
He supposedly sold all his properties and then bought like a little container ship house
in Texas.
And he's in Texas to be closer to the SpaceX operation. What is last of that, right?
So
but what did he name the last kid was named after a CIA spy plane project. So I mean, like, is this the guy you want to be a free speech advocate? He names his kid XA12 dash whatever. I mean, come on. I mean, and plus he never supported Trump either. That's the strangest thing with all the Trump charge getting behind it, like he's gonna put Trump back into it. And I looked briefly earlier. There's a bunch of new news stories or whatever. I guess he made statements about Truth Social, about Trump's platform or something. I didn't look at it at all. I don't know if you.
I've just heard of it. Yeah, I never looked into it, but yeah, there is that kind of undertone they don't really come out and say it ever though. But for some reason, there's that weird belief between like the Q or the Trump people that Elon and Trump are kind of working together or something like that. And
yeah, I mean,
I believe you will see Trump back on Twitter. That was like, if they want the engagement and everything, they want to make the metaverse movie. That's Trump coming back, Trump rising like the Phoenix. You're going to want to get him back on Twitter. Nobody gives a shit about Truth Social. It'll never take off. And there's a whole reason there's a reason they're doing this and putting Elon Musk on the Twitter. And the reason I think it is, I want to hear what you think, is I think you're going to see Frazzle Drip go live. Whether or not it's actually the Frazzle Drip movie they told you about, Hillary eating a face or whatever, it's going to be something of that level that they need a platform for it to propagate on, because they know right now, according to the official storyline, everything's banned everywhere and you would never be able to do that. So I think you're going to see something like that.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree, and we've been saying that for years. And the one thing that I always bring up is that thing that came out was the protocols of the Illuminated Sons of the Golden Dawn.
And this is from one of the earliest shows ever. This is my kind of problem, is these other channels are like so big, and we've been like way ahead of the curve with stuff like this years ago. And I would say it's even still ahead of the curve now with this. But go ahead with what that is.
I mean, literally, nobody ever talk. I don't ever hear anybody. No,
you're the only person I've really heard talk about it.
Nobody ever, and who knows what the origin of it is or whatever. But I mean, basically, there is this, letter that kind of propagated through the internet and related with QAnon and all that thing during the whole Russiagate, Russia collusion kind of thing. But I think if you take out a couple phrases out of the predictions or whatever, I mean, it's exactly what we're going through. I mean, it predicts that the media gaslighting will continue to such an extent that all public trust in any media will be discredited, and that eventually the public is going to get to the point where they're waiting for this release of information. There's going to be a point in time where all this information is going to come out, and we see that playing out. And it's what you predicted with Frazzle Drip and all these kind of things that I see definitely. That's what, and with WikiLeaks and all this kind of stuff, is we're going to see a drop of actual stuff that, and we've even connected it with like the presidential text message that we got from Trump early on, that was kind of predictive programming. That I think that however this information is going to come out is like everybody's going to kind of be essentially forced to see it. I mean, kind of like we're forced to see the Will Smith slap. Like, you're not exactly forced to it, but like you are forced.
Yeah, it's almost unavoidable.
Right, it's unavoidable. And I think that's what's going to happen with this material, is I think and it probably is going to be closer to the fucking election, unfortunately. But I think because we're pushing pretty close at this point. I don't know what they're going to do for the next. I don't know how they're going to play out the next little bit, but I think we're definitely getting to a disclosure point soon at some point, and it's just setting Trump up to come back.
Yeah, totally. And I hate that I have to say it, but you got to assume there's always like new people to this information. So we're not saying we're like Q-tards, is we're saying there's all these pieces on a chessboard and it's actors, and it's like basically like a movie, and they want to create an entire new system of media and everything like that. And so they have to tear down the old system. So they're going to use these pieces on the chessboard, like you said, like Julian Assange. The other things that are out there is things like the Hunter Biden laptop, supposedly, and everything. All these things that can come into play. But if you think about it, there's no way they could if they wanted to like bring this out. Not that it's real, again, I hate that I have to say that, but if they want to bring this out and take these characters down, there was no platform to do that before. And now with the Elon Musk Twitter, supposedly there will be.
Yeah, just read a couple parts out of this thing. I mean, if you just Google it, it's the protocols of the Illuminated Sons with a U of the Golden Dawn. So like Protocol 2 is The primary purpose of gaslighting the media is distraction. The time the CIA Mockingbird apparatus spends trying to convince the public of their Russian collusion conspiracy theory. And in my idea, we're extrapolating the Russian conspiracy collusion idea a little further, even though we see that like the Russian conspiracy is still coming to a forefront, obviously, with the Ukraine-Russia thing.
Right.
Like it's still like the major narrative still is that Putin bad, right? But so the time the CIA Mockingbird apparatus, like Twitter, literally is a mockingbird.
It's a bird, right? Yeah,
right.
It's literally the bird,
right? So the Mockingbird apparatus spends trying to convince the public of their Russian collusion conspiracy theory is time that the alliance can use to collect evidence and build airtight cases for the upcoming military tribunals, which we've been waiting for, obviously, for the tribunals and the sealed indictments. And what we've always said is the sealed indictments and the military tribunals are for us.
Yeah,
and I still think that's going to happen, but we'll see. Article 3, the secondary purpose of gaslighting the media is to act as a time-delayed, controlled demolition of the mainstream media's reputation. And I mean, it's obvious that we have seen the destruction of the mainstream media's reputation, particularly in the last 2 years. Even people buying into the narrative, they were constantly gaslighting them with people like the New York governor's Cuomo, or whatever, right? Like they did the whole bid where he got COVID and he was in the basement and he was having dreams and demons were attacking him and all this shit. And he was selling the whole COVID narrative with that other half black guy there on CNN or whatever. And then he got boiled up in a sex scandal, just like his brother. Yeah. And his brother was the main guy perpetuating the narrative in New York, and everybody was looking at the crazy shit he was doing in New York, like he was a main character. So like we see the destruction of the mainstream narrative, where I think a lot of majority of people in reality don't trust the mainstream media anymore anyways.
I mean, even as recently as yesterday or whatever, Kamala's getting it 4 jabs later and she's still getting it.
Right. So it says, the longer the delusional narrative is allowed to run, the greater the eventual damage to the MSN's credibility. Every effort must be made to allow the Trump team to appear suspicious and continue feeding the conspiracy theories suspicions while not providing anything tangible. Provide so much smoke that belief in the existence of fire becomes exceedingly easy. Like, Congress is still talking about 1/6.
Right. That's true.
So that narrative of 1/6 was still just a further part of this plan. I mean, a lot of us kind of hoped on that day. I know I was listening live, bro. Like, at one point I wanted it to be like a real thing going on. But anybody knows that all that was bullshit. But it goes on to say, the tertiary purpose of gaslighting the media is to create in the agents of the deep state and their liberal stages a false sense of security. The goal is to foster a surreal, disassociative sense of cognitive dissonance, an uneasy feeling that is relieved by concluding that Trump is simply guilty and stupid. Trump derangement syndrome, right?
Right.
It happened. The alternative conclusion being that the entire liberal media establishment has been chasing a giant fiction while Trump prepares his retaliation. The more improbable and terrifying this possibility, the more cognitive dissonance this will create.
It's literally exactly what's going on.
Exactly.
And this was from what, like 2018 or 2017 or something?
2018, I think it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And the origin of it, I don't know. I don't know how it came to be. I don't know if I've never been on 4chan or any of that shit. I don't know where this came from, but I don't even remember exactly how I how I came to know about it. But
Yeah, there's not much channels talking about this.
yeah, so and then
You want me to do number 5? Need a
yeah,
break?
go ahead.
You need
Yeah,
a break?
yeah.
It says number 5, the false belief is so tempting that the deep state, FBI, and CIA agents will march deeper into their treasonous plot to frame and impeach POTUS, further documenting their own crimes while providing more time for the white hats to investigate their crimes. Mueller leads the big guns of the deep state fixers on a slow and steady march into the jaws of military justice. And then I'll hit 6 too real quick. The longer the gaslighting continues, the longer Trump has to lift the country up. He has time to remove the restraints and undo the acts of sabotage done to America by the globalists, thus allowing the country to thrive, making America great again. The longer the gaslighting goes on, the greater America becomes. This drives an ever-widening gap between the delusional MSM narrative and the lived reality of Americans on Main Street. And that's exactly the last 2 years, man. It's what they show you on TV is like not what you see with your own eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead if you want to.
Yeah. So what? You just were on 6.
I did 6.
So yeah, and 7's a pretty good one too. So the genius of this protocol is the fact that it allows a gradual awakening of the public to the lies of the mainstream media. This steady shift continues until the public is overwhelmingly aware of the delusional plot to unseat the POTUS. Right? So we had, 2 impeachment trials, 1-6 still going on. We had the whole thing where it's pretty unsure, like, whether Biden's actually even in the White House. Why are they doing things on sound stages? Like, why did they build a giant wall around the White House? Like, why were they going to change the colors of Air Force One? Like, there's all these weird things with his presidency. Why are they deep faking Biden? You know, the one video that spread out where he was at some party or whatever with Obama, and he's acting all lost and stuff. I know Tin posted a clip of it, and I hadn't watched it, and I went back to look at the clip. There's a part in the clip where Biden turns around and then turns back around, and you can tell that they're not using the deep fake CGI, like skips for a second, and you see that the guy that's there at the actual, I think there's an actual person that was there that was being the person that they're deep faking his face onto, but like it glitches for a second. You can tell that it's somebody else, and it explains to why nobody's paying attention to him.
Because it's just some guy.
Because it's just some guy. Nobody knows that. Like, they're probably not even in on it. Like, they're probably not even in on it for the most part. I don't know. It's strange. And then, there's so much stuff. I mean, not to get all QAnon with it, but I mean, there was all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, everybody saw when Biden got the booster, and they acted like he was at the White House, but then they purposely released the images of it being a soundstage somewhere else, right? So it's not like they're not hiding it, right? I mean, they're gaslighting. They're allowing.
They want you to become a QAnoners. They want these libs. That's the progression. You're going to go from lib to like QAnoner, basically. They want to create that army of those retards.
So it goes on. 7 goes on to say, when the time is right, blah, 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 the alliance will begin to drop the bombshell disclosures, i.e., the HRC videos, etc. So Frazzle Drip, Epstein,
Wiener's laptop, whatever's
Wiener, Biden, Hunter Biden, all that is going to be publicly released at some point. I think we're starting to really see that kind of, like, I think even part of DeSantis with the battle with Disney, right? Like, what Disney literally is built on a swamp, right? I mean, are we talking draining the swamp? Are we talking about Crater Earth? I mean, Disneyland? Is that what we're talking about? Because, I mean, like, even if you didn't know about Q, I mean, it's pretty well common knowledge that Disney has a pretty fucked up system going on. We know that the land was acquired by the CIA, that they basically function as a as their own independent city state, right? Like it's its own entire entity that has its own special gray area which in it operates, and then you have like entire huge. I can't even think of the word. There's all these employees that like actually legitimately live at the facility, right? And they have a lot of, and you know, everybody knows about Disney grooming, all these.
And that,
all
that's in the last couple of years. There's been a lot of those stories of like Disney or I don't know if it's executives, but employees, you know, getting caught in some kind of like trafficking and stuff like that. I feel like there's been a lot of those stories.
Oh yeah, in Nickelodeon too, and all of them somewhat related. So I mean, obviously that's part of it, and I think now we've seen with the whole don't say gay bill and all this grooming stuff becoming a hot button topic and stuff, which also at the same time it's also pretty good fuel in the other direction of the people that would be, you know, proponents of that, because they can pretty easily point out hypocrisies in it. And I've seen it got a lot of good responses actually that are kind of hard to refute what's going on. And if you want to take any kind of libertarian, you know, freedom kind of approach to it. So I mean, it's a very hard line to draw. And often you see like even bringing up that guy we talked about earlier. Right? What the fuck is that guy's name? Larkin Rose or whatever. You have these people that are opposing authoritarian regimes, but they're actually doing it in a very authoritarian mindset. So I mean, like there is hypocrisy in their ideology. So I mean, anybody that I think is neutral or honest is going to be able to say, well, I mean, where are you coming from with that? I mean, where do you draw your lines on liberty and freedom, and you know, where is the line in the sand? And a lot of it is semantic, right? I mean, a lot of it is labels and terms and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think there's very few. I mean, complete rejection of authority is leftism, right? Like so. I don't know. There's a lot of nuance and distinctions. I don't think that any that are not being made, but I think this is the idea that they're pushing us towards this, to where we're going towards the synthesis. Exactly.
Chat's crying about the hat. I just think this is funny because I know it triggers people. They're gonna be like, a truther's gonna be like, he has to show you who he works for.
And it goes way back on OE history. So anybody that's not a long time.
Yeah. It's from maybe the second cover we ever did was the.
I remember I said I DM'd you and I said, hey, do you have a communist hat? He said, you know I do.
Yeah, of course. Come on, man.
I wore the big furry hat. Big furry comrade hat.
I got that one I had with the horns still too. I was gonna.
Oh yeah.
I'll save it for next time. Do that again next time.
The Q show. Wait, so somebody in the Discord, I don't know if he posted something. I don't know what it was exactly now, but is IPS now on the Owen Schroyer is the Q shaman gig now? Is he?
I think he is, and didn't he say you were dumb for saying that before?
Yeah, he did. He did. He completely called me out for saying that.
Well,
that was totally speculative, and that like he went off on me on a live stream about that.
But hey, man,
like, I haven't watched it. You know, the guy's great. You know, whatever. It's one of the people that
ahead of the curve, man.
Because he just speculates. He doesn't necessarily.
Yeah.
He really is pretty kind of anti-dogmatic. Because he doesn't believe in it. He just everything's fake. Yeah. Right.
I like IPS. I mean, one of the
I like
channels
IPS.
I still listen to.
No, I mean his breakdowns of metascripts are epic.
And the Mandela effect. He destroyed the Mandela effect, I thought. Speaking of that, the chat just put a comment about Mandela effect. It says, I think it's named wrong. It's definitely real. But I think people are remembering Stephen Biko. Remember the giant concept for apartheid in Peter Gabriel's song, The Man is Dead? It's definitely not real.
No fucking clue what you're talking about. But I would like to say, I don't think we mentioned this, but the OOE effect from last episode was that. So what we streamed on Wednesday last week.
Yep.
Yep. And on Friday, they restarted CERN.
Well,
After we
started
covered
Wednesday into Thursday, I think, and then on Friday,
Friday,
restarted CERN when we were talking about CERN the whole damn time.
Yep.
The whole show was about CERN, basically, and then they fired up CERN. Another one I forgot to mention when we were talking about what the OOE effect is like when we talk about something on the stream or whatever, it goes like, I don't want to say viral, but like something happens in the real world of like what we were just talking about. And one of the ones though was we had that stream forever ago. What it was called? It was called "It's Weird Out Here." Remember that? And now like that's Days of Noah. Every stream is called "It's Weird Out Here." That was one of the first streams that we did. Was the title of the stream? It's probably on BitChute. If you go through the archives on the chalkbodyoutline BitChute, you can scroll back.
Well, I believe that was our first pandemic stream.
Is that what it was? When the pandemic hit?
Yeah, that was the first stream we did after when the pandemic hit.
And then the one and only time you showed like a poster, it was Sean Connery. And then the dude died the next
Claire,
day.
And then he died the next day.
That's wild.
Operation Snarfu, situation normal, all fucked up.
So, what's it going to be tomorrow?
I don't know. We're going to see. I don't know.
Frazzle Drip's dropping tomorrow.
It could. I'm not going to shit. Let's just say that. I don't know. If we're wrong, we're wrong. Who cares? Whatever.
We'll see, man. It's 4:28.
Yeah. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be airplane related. I don't know.
Yeah, the jet fuel hoax.
Something will happen. That's pretty profound connection, though. I can guarantee that.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Like, I didn't know CERN was going to restart last week.
I've been hearing it was going to restart for like the last like 3 months.
It
finally did right after we did, and we talked about CERN for the whole damn show.
And it was like at 3:16 a.m. I think we like ended that stream at like 3:11 or something. 3:07 I think is when we ended that last stream. Yeah. So, but yeah, that whole stream, the whole last part of that stream, the 3 hours of that stream was the tarot deck from the CERN artist. So it's funny because her page on CERN was shut down that day too.
And they had to fire it back up to study the OOE effect. They said let her rip, boys.
I found the CERN documents too. They have graphs charted with OOE effect. I'm not even kidding.
Well, and when I looked that up too, there was like out of equilibrium is what it meant. It's actually a scientific term. They call it OOE effect, out of equilibrium.
Unreal, right?
Yeah, it's
Goldilocks reality is what it is. Reality breakdown. This is one giant Mandela effect. Yeah,
you live in a Mandela effect.
Who knows? Since Friday, there's probably been 33 million changes.
Oh, because
we're just assimilating to it. We don't even know them yet.
You don't even know. The sky was a different color yesterday, but you woke up today and you didn't even know.
They probably legit took the dick vein out of the Snickers bar.
That was CERN. CERN took the dick vein out.
Yeah. I haven't had one since Friday, but I don't know. Somebody's going to have to verify that for me. I don't know. Possible.
You know,
Captain Crunch isn't Captain Crunch anymore, right?
See, I don't know what that is. I thought it was I guess I really don't know because I don't. You read the back of the cereal box, not the front.
All I know is that shit tears the top of your mouth up.
Oh, that's the best part. This dude says Mandela effect is parallel lives on multiple Earths. No, it's not, dude. That's DC Comics Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's not. Tell me why. Name a Mandela effect that's not a damn intellectual property. There were a couple ones, but not many. 99%.
Is the Kit Kat bar. Is Kit Kat bar dashes, Monopoly Man,
movie quotes.
Right.
You know, I was feeling kind of lost in my life recently, and man, I went and watched the movie Triple X, and it all made sense, man.
Tell me about the diner scene, bro. That seemed pretty.
Oh man, it just reset me on my spiritual path when I saw Vin Diesel movie.
Wow.
That's the cult of transcendental boomerism.
Wow, man. This might be the best video you've ever made.
What?
Whatever the current video is. Best one.
The chat will say that.
Whatever you're saying, it's great.
Ivy Bird says I had Captain Crunch today for the first time in 5 to 6 years. There it is. The OOE effect.
But what did it say? What did it say on it, though? Was it
they're saying it's Captain, or is it CAP''N? I don't even know the answer. I don't remember. I was like 5 years old when I ate Captain Crunch. Let me look it up.
I had it 2 weeks ago. I know that. It tore the shit out of the top of my mouth.
Did it change?
I didn't even look.
CAP''N. Now they turned on CERN.
Boom.
And they messed with the crunch berries.
Boom.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Truthers going to be stuck on that for the next 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying they increased the number of kids Elon has, but that's just me. I don't remember him having 8 kids, but that, maybe I just didn't know. I don't know.
Well, yeah, he had twins. He had a kid that died, then he had twins and then triplets, and then he's got like an older kid or something too.
Yeah, that's crazy because his mom is a twin too.
Yeah, what did you want to say about his mom, who's played by Glenn Close?
Yeah,
definitely. Picture of Elon's mom.
Glenn Close could be her Dr. Mengele twin from Factory Faces, right?
And Elon has all the twins, so he's on the Mengele diet or whatever they do.
I also didn't know that Elon has a brother, and the brother...
Yeah, the brother's a cowboy.
Right, he wears a cowboy hat. He put some restaurants in Indianapolis, and then I guess he shut them down during COVID, and there's a big... I looked at it today. I had no idea about it.
His name's Kimball, and he has the same middle name as Elon. Kimball Reeve Musk.
Yeah. Oh, Reeve, really?
Yeah, same as Elon.
Well, and Christopher Reeves, right?
Yep.
Superman.
Reeve. Elon's mom, did you say she had a connection with Manson?
Okay, it's unsubstantiated, but anybody that watches Canary Cry News Talk, Gons and Face Like the Sun. Face Like the Sun did a Elon little documentary or whatever, and allegedly he came across a document that talks about Elon's family, and apparently Elon's mom, Maya Musk, is in the original Helter Skelter book. There's a picture of her with Manson, and I guess she might have been arrested with the original Manson clique. And then there's another story that possibly Elon's sibling or older brother, I think, was conceived at a prison visit between Maya and Manson. And then allegedly she bought all the people that did get prison sentences. I guess she bought like a bunch of TVs and delivered them all to them. Their prison cleared prison TVs for him or whatever. But there's, as far as I know, you can't substantiate it. But there's also other crazy stuff because Elon's grandfather was a member of what's called the Technocratic Society in Canada, and he was actually kicked out of Canada for promoting technocratic ideals and trying to overthrow the government with technocratic ideals. And then after that, the whole family goes on this worldwide Thule trip where they go and explore all of these ancient ruins and ancient sites and everything. They fly in this plane. Yeah, see, they take an airplane and they go and fly over the world to all these esoteric sites and stuff.
So you think, are they trying to hint that Elon found like some magical amulet or some crazy shit?
Well, yeah,
like that?
because it goes the letter that supposedly that face like the sun's reading from. There's some part where it goes to where there's I think it's in Elon's schooling situation or whatever. There's claims that he was able to levitate
Like objects or himself?
himself.
Yeah, they're gonna tell you there's something up with this Elon dude. He's more
100%.
human than human. It says
Yeah.
his grandfather was from Minnesota. He was born
Minnesota,
in a log cabin
yeah.
in Minnesota in November.
They moved to Saskatchewan.
Yep, moved to
Canada.
Saskatchewan. I'm right here on this article. Everything you're saying, it's like popping up as you're talking about it.
Mhm. So he was a big activist for this technocratic society. And then I guess it was outlawed. Like Canada outlawed Jehovah's Witnesses, Seven-Day Adventist, and this technocratic society. And then they left, and then they went on this. They flew around the world going to all these old historic sites or some shit. Strange.
And then his mom's a twin. It looks like it says
Yes, Elon's mom's one of a twin.
Kay and May.
May and Kay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which we know that, they're these may be like Mengele, Dr. Mengele from
Third Reich.
From Mustache Man's place, right? Mengele went to South America and was obsessed with twins. And the place that he went is like the highest population of twins in the entire world. And he was experimenting with making twins. And there's some kind of obsession with twins, which is shot. And then to think that Elon has twins as well,
And triplets.
Oh, and triplets, yeah. So definitely some kind of positive eugenics going on.
Elon says the lack of AI oversight is insane. And that's where it's going to go, I think, too, is that this guy wants to fight AI, supposedly. That's what
Well, I don't know. He's so dialectic in it, though, because, I mean, like, he comes out and said that AI is going to run out of control and yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, he's also being promoted as the top guy in AI. He's building a chip to go into your brain.
Right.
But at the same time, he's saying that AI is this uncontrollable force that's going to wreak havoc on humanity. Like, it doesn't make sense. And then also, I mean, he's a global warming proponent. And the jab. That was one. And the jab. That's what I'm saying. Like, during the pandemic, like, I was going to wait for, if it was going to go to if they were going to kick down the door and come in with the needle, I'm going to wait for the Elon jab, because there might be a free Neuralink and maybe a free Cybertruck with the jab. I mean, if I wait long enough, right? I mean, they were, giving away hamburgers and French fries and guns and...
Yeah, that wasn't enough.
$1 million at one point, right? You could get a raffle and win $1 million if you get the jab. So, shit, I was going to wait for the Cybertruck and that Neuralink. It's a lot of work to hold the phone in front of your face.
Is that what you're doing?
Just put it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much work to do this.
Yeah, just put the phone. Just put it in here, bro. They can do that. They know how to do that, right? They figured out the whole brain. All you got to do is put in a...
Like Davey Crocco says, they go right through your jugular for the Neuralink,
boom,
supposedly.
Digital. My brain understands ones and zeros. Boom.
Yeah, and shout out to Davey Crocco. He called the People's Convoy and the MML from the start a pyramid scheme. And now the stories today are coming out that it's a pyramid scheme.
Oh, yeah, 100%. The Coon Boy. Told you.
Coon Boy.
So is the American one still going on?
Yeah, it's still going around. They're getting egged in California or something, wherever the hell they were. Oakland, I don't remember. Played it on D-Live.
Got to be Sunday some kind of ritual, right?
Something, man. It's embarrassing. They're still delivering the payloads across the country.
Delivering the payloads for Red Dawn is what I'm saying.
Yep.
containerized warfare. That's why there's evergreen ships getting stuck everywhere. There's trucker convoys everywhere. There's a shortage of shipping containers in the world. Well, the only obvious thing is that there's an invasion force right here, ready to go, boys.
Lock and load.
Lock and load. Hold on to your butts.
Anybody in the chat got any like questions or any topics or whatever?
Yeah, I don't even remember where we're at. I think we could probably go more into the protocols there, but I think we covered some of the good ones there. Anybody could dive in a little more on their own.
Yeah,
and look at them.
We covered a lot of the things we meant to cover.
I think we covered where we're at this point. Next stage is after disclosure. Then it goes into like crazier disclosure, and then we go into Nsera, but that might be too advanced.
That's Truther 303.
The QAnon rabbi, I think they shut his heat off today.
Yeah, I saw him. He was he had the beanie on and a jacket in his house. I was like, yeah, he really thought Nsera was coming and stopped paying his bills.
He thinks it's on the final. He's waiting for it. He's going to get that Nsera card in the mail any day now.
I mean, if they collapse the money, they could just collapse it worldwide at the same time, pretty much.
I mean, it'd be easy. I mean, right?
Well, they can. I feel like COVID showed me they can do anything. Anything at all.
I feel like all they got to do to shut down the internet. If they shut down the internet, it's...
That dude, Red Pill Diaries, is in there. We debunked that thing at the beginning of the stream, so just rewind the stream and it's completely over. It's done forever. It never will... Its hand will never come out of the ground again. It's dead. What are you doing, rolling a joint?
Cigarette.
Oh, a cigarette. A left-handed cigarette?
I don't know. I'm looking at... I'm mirrored on the whole thing. Mirrors trip me out. I don't know if anybody else... Mirroring images trips me the fuck out.
Commissary in the chat says, what do you think of Orby last video, EBT?
Of what?
Aubrey, O-B-R-Y. I don't know what that is.
Oh, he did a mud flood. He did a dud flood, I think is what he called it.
He said, or... What is it, Aubrey or Aubrey in general?
Aubrey, yeah. John Mac Times or whatever. Aubrey is like he has this, he's building this system where he's kind of like rebuilding ancient Hebrew, because the modern conception of Hebrew is pretty incorrect, but he's going back through the Bible and trying to reconstruct the original language of what we would call Hebrew, and then kind of trying to correlate where like the places in the Bible might have actually could been, because there's all kinds of geological inconsistencies in the scripture. And so yeah, the Aubrey project is his thing, but Jonathan Mac, I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's a guy on YouTube. He does shit. He went through the entire Flamenco's new chronology. He like did a whole read through that and commentary on that, and so he covers a bunch of pretty cool topics. He's some kind of weird, I don't know, Pentecostal, evangelical kind of Christian. I don't know. He has a lot of strange presuppositions about Christianity that I don't necessarily agree with, but he does cover a lot of cool things. And I think one of the biggest thing that I liked from him was he covered the flamenco and like actually read through the book and stuff. But whereas most people just mention flamenco and then they say, well, there's 1,000 years added in the timeline. This Russian mathematician proved it. Well, it's really not exactly what flamenco is talking about. But so yeah, he did a video debunking mud flood, and I thought it was, pretty logical, pretty same shit that we kind of talk about, that there's big loopholes in the theory that
Was
don't
that
make
the one
any
you
sense.
posted in the Discord the other day where the dude's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they'll
yeah.
just show you a picture and not tell you where it's from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
that. That was a pretty good video. The Jared Board said, did EBT see Matt's boy added a tip jar to for a small fee boys?
Told you.
Another
Oh,
prediction come true, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I told you it was gonna happen. I mean,
We're just ahead of the game, man. I mean, there's costs involved. That's pretty obvious too, though. I mean, it's just too.
hey, by the way, now would be a good time to mention. Go ahead and Will Smith that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Go ahead and yeet them super chats right now.
Drop
Like we said-
Amber Heard in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
no,
Well,
I knew that was.
I think we
that was
covered
gonna happen.
everything, though. I think we're good. Look for the news tomorrow. You'll see something about something we talked about.
Something about something.
Something
Maybe
about
one or
something.
two. 1 or 2 days, but within 1 or 2 days.
It's a fact. It's a law. The OOE effect, out of equilibrium.
You're gonna see Hillary
just
eating
cover.
faces. You're gonna get a text message tomorrow.
You're gonna
It's
see
gonna
it,
be
bro.
SMS. Hillary's gonna be eating faces
You ever seen
on your
the
Palm Pilot. On your Palm Pilot, Hillary eating faces. It's happening.
I'm ready to see it, man. That's, to me, that explains why they brought out all that deep fake apps and everything. You can put your friends in the movies and all that. Because then
Yeah.
when this comes out, they want to create that gray area for people to still be able to explain it away and stuff. They'll just say, "Oh no, it's a deep fake." And we saw it in the Alex Jones as the Ukraine soldier.
Yeah, and there's also one of ODD TV over there in Ukraine too that I've seen recently. I mean that's one of the other predictions we've been talking about
I got Hillary up on the screen right here. I got a advanced copy of Frazzle Drip. There it is right there. You guys saw it here first. OOE exclusive. Better take it down before they shut down the
whether
stream.
it's
That's
real
it.
or whether it's real or not, that it doesn't matter.
That was
That's
real. I
not-
just showed it.
It's real.
I just showed it. That was it.
Disclosure. What the fuck?
Dark Glasses Woody, real quick before we go, says German manufacturing costs are up 30.9% year on year. Ask EBT if things are getting crazy in the diesel world yet.
Yeah, it's been crazy. There's some manufacturers of engines that a lot of components are taking 6-7+ months to get replacement parts for on pretty new production engines, like particularly tier 4 final engines. One of the big manufacturers having a lot of trouble is like Caterpillar and Caterpillar Perkins. They're conglomerate, but Caterpillar is having a lot of trouble keeping up with replacement parts and being able to produce new engines. But at the same time, like Caterpillar had this whole big huge scandal right before 2020 that got like swept under the rug because like overnight they changed their headquarters in Peoria or whatever, and then they moved their headquarters overnight to Chicago, and then they like burned like all these records and stuff when they moved, and then like a couple days later there's this big federal investigation into Caterpillar, and like the whole story kind of just went away, but it was a big deal. But like other manufacturers, John Deere has been pretty good because they've always been pretty out front about protecting manufacturing, supply lines and stuff. So there hasn't been many delays on them. But yeah, I mean, for Perkins and Caterpillar engines that were only like a year old or so, I mean, there's some components waited 8-10 months on to get, even simple stuff like air filters, starter motors, but then even on emission stuff, DEF injectors, DEF quality sensors, like there's a huge shortage right now. And then hydraulic components, basically there's a huge shortage in everything. My company ordered a shitload of equipment, put it on the build list for the manufacturers in 2020, anticipating the shortage, and we still haven't received all our requested builds from 2020. That's how slow it's going.
And Red Pill Diaries in the chat, he's big mad. He says he went back and watched the jet fuel debunk. I live in Europe. We don't use gallons or pounds. We use liters and kilograms. It's not that. It's over, dude. Give it up. Give it up, bro. You lost the battle. Change your mind. We know you bought your 80,000 subscribers. It's bullshit.
It's not a conversion unit.
No,
it is, but it isn't, right?
That's why they changed it, so that there is no confusion, so planes aren't falling out of the sky. The theory's dumb. Just deal with it. It's over.
I mean, if he wants to call in on Sunday or something and talk about scramjets and stuff, he's more than welcome.
He can't let go of the delusion, bro. Look at him. He's holding on to it for dear life. Bro, go back and watch the beginning again. It's over for you. It's done. All right, man. I'm going to shut the stream down. Jet fuel hoaxers are on suicide watch. Share the stream. Appreciate everyone's time.
End the video.
Peace out.